For some time now, other airlines have been forced to take notice of Emirates Airlines as it embarked on its quest to become the most dominant airline in the market. It must be frustrating for other such airlines to watch this happen, but what can they do? Competing with the airline that is backed by the vast resources of the oil-rich United Arab Emirates has proven itself to be a difficult task, and if care is not taken, the other airlines will be blown out of the water in this competition to become the best airline in the world. However, before we can say that Emirates Airlines is the best airline in the world, we must analyze the steps that the airline has taken to deserve this title. How much better are they than other airlines? Let's find out. So what's all the fuss about? What has made this airline stand above the rest? Well, it seems like Emirates Airlines have challenged all the older and more established airlines in the market, while also encroaching on the territories of the smaller ones. This was done by providing low-cost fares, while also ensuring that their clients receive the premium services available while traveling with them. Don't take our word for it. Stepping into any of their planes means a passenger will enjoy the most delicious food, the most fantastic facilities, and the best entertainment system you'd find on an aircraft today. No wonder patrons would rather fly with Emirates Airlines, because the fantastic amenities and the gracious crew on the planes make the passengers feel like guests, rather than just another number in the accounting books. In fact, some wonder why you'd even fly with someone else. And why wouldn't they, when it is believed that economy class is as good, if not better, than first class on some other airlines? Apart from ensuring that the ride is smooth and enjoyable, the airline has gone further than most other airlines by being able to travel to about 130 countries on the globe, which no doubt gives it the most extensive network and coverage out of every other airline in the market. This is made possible by the fact that the airline has the largest fleet of airplanes in the world. As a result of the large fleet, coupled with the fact that it can offer lower price tickets than even the small airlines, it's no wonder these smaller airlines scowl at the notion of this huge airline. This has made profitability a competition in itself. Unfortunately for most of these other airlines, Emirates has emerged the victor in this economic melee. Another reason Emirates Airlines seems to be winning this competition for the dominance of the skies is due to the fact that it supports the use of technologically sophisticated wide-body aircrafts. We're talking about carriers such as the A350, which is a long-range wide-body twin-engine jet airliner developed and produced by Airbus, the A380, which is the world's largest passenger airliner in the world, and the 787 Dreamliner, an American wide-body jet airliner that was developed and manufactured by Boeing. In fact, its insistence on using the A380 has brought premium services to even the most basic of classes, an advantage that other airlines just couldn't see when they analyzed the jumbo jet. The plane was instead judged by its lower fuel economy by the other airlines, and the fact that the plane seemed to be bigger than some of its destination airports. In fact, it was so big that Airbus had to reduce its wingspan from 90 meters to 80 meters. However, the A380 did face some other issues even before the coronavirus grounded pretty much all the planes on Earth. Not only did they have to deal with regular difficulties such as having to dock at airports with limited holding facilities, they also had to deal with flight delays thanks to maintenance issues. Furthermore, due to the fact that airlines wouldn't use the A380 unless it was at full capacity, these problems also caused flight delays or cancellations. The use of smaller planes in order to carry out point-to-point trips also contributed to the grounding of many A380s. Even Emirates complied with this trend by docking their A380s in favor of their A350s, their 777Xs, and their 787s, just so that they could remain profitable. Things came to a drastic halt when the coronavirus finally plagued the planet in the first quarter of 2020. Travel to most parts of the world came to a screeching halt, and as you can imagine, many airlines suffered for it, just so we could manage the spread of this most fatal disease. Even when airlines were allowed to travel, they weren't allowed to fill their planes to full capacity, as social distancing was imperative at the time. This resulted in airports seeing their lowest travel traffic in half a century, which led to job loss on a high scale. Emirates Airlines, like pretty much all the other airlines out there, were forced to stomach astronomical losses during those 2 years, especially as they had to ground their massive 123 A380 fleet. Nonetheless, they were still able to fly their smaller planes to areas with softer travel restrictions. That being said, it still made its worst loss rate in over 3 decades by losing $5 billion in the first year of the COVID outbreak. However, with the gradual lifting of these strict travel restrictions as the world started getting a hold of the pandemic, Emirates Airlines experienced a bit of a revival in its business. In the first half of 2021 to 22, for example, it made a $1.2 billion profit as it made $13.7 billion in sales. What's mostly telling about this turnaround is that while Emirates was experiencing its comeback, other airlines were still scrambling around to make ends meet. Although it still hasn't fully recovered, it's commendable that Emirates achieved this revival while the others still lingered in uncertainty. Its perceived growth rate has been calculated to be at a rate of 86%, thereby making Emirates the most profitable airline in the world at this moment. As you can imagine, the airline will definitely grow further once it recovers the losses incurred during the pandemic. They have already set the seal on several deals that will cement their place as the top airline in the world. Deals like the commission of planes like the A380 with Airbus. They have also gone ahead to make deals with Boeing, Airbus's direct competitor. They have also entered into a collaboration with United Airlines so that they could share and enjoy the vast network each airline has acquired over the years in a bid to make as much profit as possible. They've also acquired more A350s in order to put more tension on the small to medium-distance airlines while also dusting off their current A380s, which shall be ever present in the skies once more. Following the airline's recovery from the most difficult time in its history, the airline has pledged to usurp more of their competition ground by altering and renovating some of their aircrafts to have more room on their planes so that passengers can fully enjoy their state-of-the-art entertainment system. It also continues to develop its hospitality by training the crew and staff on how to communicate with and accommodate their passengers. They also plan to improve on the premium services on every level, even the economy class. All this is done with the aim of encouraging their passengers to return to their airline time and time again. As you can imagine, this has done a lot in ensuring the healthy future of the airline, and indeed it seems to be working. Soon, they will cement the trust of their current clients while also gaining a good section of those who fly with their competitors. This willingness to provide the best service out there is the most appropriate way to achieve the Emirates' goal of gaining a new market. This and the move to acquire some of their competitors, especially the smaller ones, will help them grow domestically and internationally. There are several other things that the airline is experimenting with that will gain further ground for them when it comes to the air travel market. The utilization of larger and smaller aircrafts, for example, has been commended for its genius, especially when it comes to making the best of their already massive resources. Given more time, there is no doubt that with consistency in the way it's approaching business, it will be truly acknowledged as the king of the skies. This brings our video to an end. Be sure to like and subscribe as well. Until next time, have a safe flight.